As a man in my early 30s, I'm telling y'all right now that you need to lock in. This is the season where most men either become focused or unstoppable, or they can get stuck for the next 10 years in that same predicament that they're doing. So I'm not here to sugarcoat it. You need to lock in. This isn't motivation. I'm not about to talk to y'all for the next 15, 20 minutes about motivation. It's just a wake up call. I'm talking about getting your money, your discipline, your health, your circle, your mindset all in order. And that's critical for the next phase of your life. You don't want to just keep wondering and wondering, like, what am I going to be doing? Who's my closest circle? Is my mindset right? Things like that. You need to lock in and make sure you're figuring all this out. So as you're getting older, you have a good sense and value of the man that you want to be. The easiest thing that you can do to be locked in is just become more disciplined. That's literally it. Like, once you have the discipline, you don't need the motivation anymore. You just need the discipline, because motivation fades. Discipline is a decision. That's you waking up to consciously make a decision to do something. Whether it's you waking up every day to consciously make a decision to read that book that's going to make you better in the next 10 years, go to that job, get that certificate, whatever that situation is, that's the discipline that you need to get yourself to the next level. A lot of times I wake up and I don't feel like it, but because I have a greater sense of what I want later on in my life, I tell myself that I have to do it, because at the end of the day, once I break that habit, I'm not gonna have that discipline anymore. But in reality, having that habit builds results. Doing something over and over and over again, that builds the results that you want. So you have to change your mindset and realize that most people, most winners don't want to show up every day. It's not about them showing up every day. It's about them literally just showing up and doing what they got to do. For example, as I'm trying to grow my e-commerce business, I know for a fact that if I need to grow that e-commerce business, I need to post every single day on the internet for people to find me and find my reach. And if I don't do that, I'm not gonna get that business goals that I'm trying to reach. So I'm staying consistent, I'm staying disciplined, and that's what's helping me take my life and take my business to the next level. So you're probably asking me, Mage, why is your 30s is so important? In reality, your 20s is very important as well, but a lot of times you're getting pushed to enjoy your 20s and start taking life focus. But a lot of times when the people that have been working their whole 20s and putting in that work are living way better in their 30s than a lot of their peers. You start to see that 30s is where a lot of people's mentality starts to set in, like, oh, I need this, that, and the third. And this is when the decisions start compounding. This is when every decision that you're making is compounding. If you're putting $100 away on your 401k, is compounding for later on in your years. So literally, if you're not building something right now, you're just trying to play catch up later on in your 40s. So you have to realize that your 30s are not for coasting. They're for carving out that foundation, finding really what you want to accomplish for the next couple of years and sticking to that and growing it. Keep putting in that work to continue to establish yourself. And I know that there's a lot of distractions right now in the world with social media and seeing how other people are living. And you're probably thinking like, I need to get there faster than I can. But that's not the reality. Everybody runs on their own pace. There's distractions from dating multiple people, seeing multiple people that look good and not trying to commit to people. That's a distraction. As much as people like to think, oh, I have Tinder, I have Hinge and all of that, that's a distraction. Being able to easily just get to the next person and not being able to commit to somebody, that's a distraction. And you dating your time and spending all that energy with all those different people, that's something that you could be using the energy to kind of build and grow yourself. So yes, I would say 100% dating is a distraction if you're not doing it for the right reasons. And next thing we have is clout chasing. Like I said, we have so many people online, people doing this, people doing that. It's like everybody's just trying to go viral. Just stick to what you know and going viral should never be your end goal. You should always be trying to grow something first, then trying to go viral. Because going viral for the most part will not bring you any money into your pockets. Yo, wasting money is huge. Spending money doing DoorDash, Uber Eats. Going to the clubs all the time. There's so many different things that you can do with your money that you're spending your money on that you don't even realize it. So just trying to manage your money and look into like where is my actual dollars going, and that would be a big step in terms of changing the direction of how your 30s is going and building a better future for yourself. And a lot of these things are all traps to get you distracted from your full potential of what you could be. And that brings me to cutting out those distractions. I keep talking about social media, scrolling, just spending all day scrolling. I'm guilty of that as well. I'm guilty of that as well. But you need to find a way to give it a time limit. How long are you on there just scrolling for? I know right now Apple gives you a weekly productivity screen that you can check out and see how long you've been on a certain app or something like that. So use that to track, is my phone usage time going time? Am I just doom scrolling? Am I just doom scrolling? Because a lot of times doom scrolling is just wasting time. It's just wasting time. So you need to cut out distractions, doom scrolling. People that are doing fake hustle culture, bro. That's the number one thing, yo. You had those people that, here, do this, do that. I'm doing this for $10. Like, no, yo. Be focused on people that have actual businesses down, that are just not trying to hustle, bro. You need somebody that's going to be, you need to be hanging around people that have actual businesses and are trying to grow the actual businesses. And it comes down to that, like, who's in your circle? Like, is your circle challenging you? Is anybody in your circle pushing you to do something more? Are they doing something more with their lives? So you need to ask yourself that as well. There's a lot of people that you just shouldn't be hanging out with. And I've realized that over the last couple of years. If I want to be and reach that potential that I'm looking for, you need to cut certain people around you from you, because you just don't know what they're about. And you can just tell that they're not about anything at the same time as well. Take a look at your circle. Are they a reflection of what you want to be later on in life? And if they are, yes, stick with them. And if they are, you need to find a different way to maybe distance yourself or change their mentality as well if you want them to grow with you. So there's a lot of different things that you can do to kind of start getting your mentality right, whether it's doom scrolling, staying off the phone, staying off, unfollowing women that do nothing for you, whether it's just like Instagram models or whatever the situation, staying away from lust, like all of that, that's been a big change in, because a lot of times, like, a lot of people just don't have anything to offer except from their looks. So it's like, what's the point, right? The next thing you need to worry about, bro, is your money and ownership, man. You just cannot be, no one wants a broke man, no one likes a broke man, like, bro, no one wants a cheap man as well, bro. So you got to do whatever you can to just get to the bag and keep multiplying it as well. And if you just do that, if you just literally just focus on that, everything else will fall into place. You find yourself getting connected with like-minded people, hanging out with like-minded people, and you're going to see that the money that you have, you're going to keep multiplying it, because you're around so many people that are on the same wavelength as you. Is that you see them, it's like, oh, I got to keep getting like that and keep working hard like that. And next thing you know, you're just getting bigger and getting a bigger bag and just connecting with more people. So I would definitely say, like, your money and ownership, that's like, ownership is something you need to get right. Whether you own a house, you need to own something. I always tell people, especially in like the younger guys that I know, they're in their 20s, like, hey, if you're about to purchase a property, make sure you're purchasing a duplex or like a triplex, so you can house hack it, so you can have the other person pay for your mortgage and you're saving money as well. So that's one way to get into ownership, is just buying a rental property, whether it's a duplex or a triplex, and then just going from there and then holding. You need to learn not to keep hustling, basically. What are you doing to build your credit? What are you doing to own more assets, build more equity? Right now, I have my print shop, I have my print shop, I have properties, I have a couple side hustle businesses that that I'm constantly trying to grow. I'm constantly on YouTube trying to teach people. I'm consulting. So it's just all different ways that I'm doing that still directly tie into everything that I want to do in my life as well. And what I'm doing right now is that the money that I'm making with the businesses that I have and all the extra income that I'm getting from doing brand deals, YouTube, and things like that, I'm just reinvesting it in stocks. So I'm learning more stocks, stock options, what stocks to invest in and build on, things like that. So I'm just trying to get really serious about my future and continuing to grow what I have. I think one of the biggest lessons that I've taken away from my early 20s is that I started investing in the stock market probably like 5 years ago, and I lost a lot of money. I mean, it's not a lot of money considering to other people, so let me not say that because people get upset with me. But I've probably lost around like 5-6K in my early 20s, and I was really down bad about it. It's like, wow, I just can't understand this investing stuff. And really, the biggest thing that I've learned for the last like year and a half, which I've been investing more into the stock market and my portfolio is going back up, is that you just need to be patient. Literally, if you convinced that a stock is going to go well, like there's going to be the ups and downs, but you just need to be focused and patient and let that stack ride. Instead of trying to panic and sell it every time it goes down. And that was what was happening for me when I was younger, is that I just kept on panicking every time a stock went down and I just sold it. So if you just get into the stock market like I am, just learn to be patient a little bit, and you see like the opportunities are really there to get money no matter what President Trump says. And one of the biggest things that I'm paying attention to is my body and my health. As you might probably know, I hurt myself like 3 years ago running. I tore my peroneal tendon on my ankle, and ever since then I haven't felt the same, but I'm still building and keep on going and keep on trying to continue to see if I can get back to that top level performance that I was having. So I've invested a lot in having a pain doctor talk to a little bit more about what I might be doing wrong, and then I'm also getting back more into the gym, making sure that I'm doing the appropriate stretches from when I'm about to go work out, making sure that I'm doing after stretches, making sure I'm taking about care of my body holistically and in terms of eating right. So one thing I did recently was go get a metabolic test to see exactly what my body needs in terms of nutrients and things like that, to have me perform and be optimal in everything that I do, including just help me know how to better take care of my body as I get older as well. And one thing that you need to know is that you cannot win in your life if your body is broken, bros. I'm telling you, like I used to wake up so unhappy. My leg was always in pain. Like I'm like, I cannot tackle the day. My mentality was so bad, bro. But once I started taking care a little bit more of my body and just getting to that pain doctor and he's telling me what to do, like I felt so much better, so much energized, ready to take on the day. I'm working out, I'm sleeping better. And one thing is, like, I did cut alcohol as well. I stopped going out as much, and just spending more time at home with my wife. Started walking more, stretching more, And then one thing is that you gotta understand, like, you're not trying to be a bodybuilder. You just need to be available for your future kids and for your life, and just be for you to feel better about yourself as well. Because just having that energy, there's nothing else that feels better. Is just having energy to take on your day. So what happens when you lock in? You start attracting better people. You start having better opportunities. You keep having better days. Your confidence is different. Your decision making process is different. You get sharper, you get smarter. And for me, over this last year of me just coming into 2025 and saying, hey, these are the goals that I'm trying to achieve, me locking in and saying, hey, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna post every single day. I've seen the results. I've seen the results in my business. I've seen the results in the amount of subscribers that I follow. I've seen the results in YouTube, social media, and everything else that I'm doing. So that's literally the big change, is just like, hey, saying, hey, I wanna focus on this, and literally just focusing on it. So I just want you guys to remember, you don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be locked in some sense. You shouldn't let another year pass by without you trying to tap in and lock in and see where your potential can actually take you. Because at the end of the day, as a man, there's no one going to help you out. It's just you. You know, you have your mom, you have your dad. If you do, you know, I know a lot of people don't, but if you do, you may have that. But at the end of the day, you still have to change your mindset up and say, hey, I have to do this for myself. And that's when you start to reap more of the benefits and feel more confident with everything that you do. So I appreciate you all. If you need me to talk more about anything else, feel free to DM me, post in the comments. I'd love to hear more about some of the challenges and things that you need help with. And hope you like, subscribe, and thanks for hanging out with me, y'all. And I hope that was kind of helpful to y'all.